So I says to the guy, Swedish breakfast cereal? Sure, I could go for a nice bowl of Hutsut Ralston. Hi, I'm David Techman, and you know what really strips my screws? Rock names. In grad school, I have a friend named Jade. Nice girl. I think she's now a professional actress and went off to Australia or something. People scatter after grad school, who cares? One day, my father says, "Look, here are some of your grandmother's Jade figurines." I didn't know my grandmother knew Jade. I also didn't know that Jade looked like an elderly Chinese man and a dragon. What is wrong with this artist? My father says, no, they are figures that were carved out of jade. So now we're killing people and turning them into figurines. This is horror movie territory. Eat your heart out, Lionel Barrymore. It turns out jade is a rock. Now, jade is pretty. Jade is useful. Jade has great artistic potential, so you can see why you might name somebody after it. And yet it is a rock, the pinnacle of inanimacy. Rocks are frequently used in insults. Like, you're dumb as a rock. Your head is full of rocks. Were you born under a rock? Dude, you rock. Simon Peter, guess I'll have to call you Rock. I think we're getting slightly off topic. But, I mean, why name people after rocks? Maybe it's because of the Flintstones. You could get away with it then. The cartoon was said a long time ago. It was, shall we say, a sign of the times. Maybe you could get away with it in some 1980s cartoon aimed solely at girls. Maybe you could get away with it if you were making an anime about a bunch of androgynous gemstone women and the 10-foot-tall guy they lived with, who are always getting shot to pieces by archers from the moon. Then it makes sense. But salutations, people! This could easily become a rather shisty trend. I'm not trying to verbally basalt you, and I'm not trying to be obstreperous, but I'm also not trying to be obsidian. Let me give you some examples that will have you saying how right I am, or should I say, how right I am. Because naming girls after rocks, especially gemstones, that's sexist. You're naming them after something that has no value other than being attractive. Why not just name women after flowers? That would at least make sense because flowers, together with bees, sustain a great deal of life on Earth. But it also leads to so many jokes. I know this guy who's a composer. His name is Micah. People think he's a nice guy and good with music. And they also probably think he's a flaky guy and has perfect cleavage. Say I'm dating a girl named Ruby. Well, if she ever gets a job, I guess that means she's industrial grade, and she blushes one time, well, here come the grapefruit jokes. Also, do we really want our children to one day a week be associated with an overpriced steakhouse? Or take Emerald. If you get a girl named Emerald, she's either going to be inexperienced in everything or envious of everything, 'cause she's green. Oh, and now look. Two guys are fighting over her. One's a fat mad scientist, the other's a speedy little hedgehog. This should end well. And Crystal? What? You couldn't even pick a certain rock to name somebody after? That's like saying, well, we were going to name our daughter Dove, but we couldn't decide on a bird, so we just named our daughter Random Bird That Flies. And these rock-based names can also lead to confusion. There's this black rock called garnet. It happens to be the birthstone of January. Also a hill you buy clothes on, I think. But if somebody comes up to you and says, check out my garnet ring, then I'm going to say, so it's my birthstone? Or I'm going to say, maybe you should give that back because garnet might be looking for it. And don't even get me started on diamond. Let's pay a visit to our old friend, the 1930s Mafia. That chorus girl Diamond knows too much. We gotta scratch her. Gee, boss, I don't know if we can scratch her. Diamond's a pretty hard woman. I know she's a hard dame, but she has to die, and we got hitmen. What are they gonna use, an industrial drill? Would you find it easier if I said we had to rub her out? No, that just might make her shine more, boss. If we do not scratch Diamond, Diamond is going to scratch someone else. Conundrum, boss. Yes, it is a conundrum. No, I mean conundrum. That's who she's likely to kill. For the last time, his name is not pronounced that way. His name is Dr. Corundum. Sorry, boss. We're gonna go rampant with these rock names eventually. You know a girl named Morgan. You know a girl named Alexandra? Why not Morganite and Alexandrite? Harmony? Why not Harmatome? UVA Swing Club President Kate Feldman? More like UVA Swing Club President Kate Feldspar. I went to a Jesuit college founded by St. Ignatius of Loyola. No, it was St. Igneous of Loyola. The only rock that should be a saint is limestone, 'cause it's holy. If we keep following this current trend, sooner or later, I'll be walking down the street and I'll hear some English lady going, "Thomas, come along at once, Thomas." Excuse me, madam, is your son's name Thomas? No, pumice, rhymes with mashed up chickpeas. It's a sort of volcanic rock with a density lower than that of water because my son is so pure he floats. I don't want to know what Typhon had for lunch that day. So pure he floats. Well, I'm sure he'll have no trouble living up to that through the entirety of his adult life. And he floats? So, do you want to go down the street letting everybody know that your son is either a swimmer, or a duck, or a witch? Also, aren't you supposed to name a baby within 6 months or 6 weeks of giving birth? So what are we doing? Like sending 5-week-old babies out to float in the water? Worked for Perseus, worked for Moses, may not work for your bairn, lady. Well, I never thought it through. I should see not. I guess I'm just going to have to jump on this bandwagon now. If I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Quartz, because she'll be attractive, but also very useful and hard-working. And if she turns out to be pretty but stupid, I'll change her name to Pyrite. And if I have a son, I just assume he'll be a strong and industrious lad, so I'll name him Concrete. Salutations, people. This is how it's going to end if we keep naming our children after things like rocks and dirt and sticks and styrofoam. I'm David Techman, and that really endorses me to abort mission. Abort mission. It's a mission to save a girl whose name is Bort. Bort is an obscure dark-colored sort of diamond. Don't believe me? Ask your local geologist. He or she knows what's up. With this new camera setup, I have to move to turn it off. Suppose I could edit this out later, but my goodness, that sounds like a lot of work.